Hello there guys, it's Dino Man here, and we have another Mesozoic Isle video to make. Now before we get started, it should be noted that this is just simply going to be a podcast type video, because I don't really want to take a ton of time to make this, and so I'm not going to do a ton of animations and all that kind of stuff, because that takes a while. So this video is just simply going to be the picture of the Mesozoic Isle poster with me talking over it and nothing else. So just to let you know that. But anyways, first there is an update to the original, that's right, you heard me right, the original teaser that we discussed last time. On it we see that at the contributors area, we see that Agent 27 has been replaced with PAP-SA27. I'm assuming this means the same person, it's just like a different code name for them, but I think it's very, very interesting that he changed the name, probably because he just wasn't thrilled with Agent 27, so he wanted to be a more complex code name type thing. So first up, we're going to deal with a file that was submitted on May 10th, 2014, just one day after the one that was discussed in the last video. We first find out that they have found a feral cat that has been removed from the island, which I think is pretty cool because it helps show that, you know, the island suffers from feral animals too, from the few times that, you know, people actually visit the island. There are animals there that they bring with that the people of Mesozoic Isle have to deal with. But more excitingly, we get to learn about a brand new dinosaur. This new hybrid or mutant or whatever it is called Boravenator, which sounds a lot like Boreovenator, but it's different. We don't get to learn very much about it, however, other than the fact that it eats fish. But this adds a new weird hybrid type dinosaur to the list with Monster Camandaris Rex. I think it'll be very interesting to see what represents Boravenator in the series. We then get to hear about the Triceratops, which are just uprooting a bunch of grass. Nothing too interesting, but it then says that he saw Maverick again, which is the Quetzalcoatlus, and this time he confirmed that he's scavenging. And if we view higher on the report thing, we'll get to hear about how MIHVCP4 is scavenging, which seems to suggest to me that Maverick is MIHVCP4, which means that whenever we see MIHVCP4 again, it means we're talking about Maverick. Or at least that's what I thought. But when we look at the last report, it seems to be talking about the Albertosaurus, but it also seems to be talking about Maverick as well. So we got some weird stuff going on here. I'm very interested to see how this all relates to each other, and what this MIHVCP4 thing represents. I think we're starting to get a clue, but we don't quite have the whole puzzle figured out yet. But then we also get to find out with George, who is a Gorgosaurus. Just so you know, George, he is hanging back in Hidden Valley, which means that he is one of the animals that goes in and out of Hidden Valley. And that is pretty cool, because that means that him and Alex are the only two animals that we have confirmed to go in and out of Hidden Valley somewhat regularly, at least. Then we get to hear about a new character, Jasmine. I don't know who Jasmine is, but I bet we'll find out. Then Agent 27 says that she is pretty darn sure that Spike will be challenged by this newcomer this season, who she still has not named. But she really should name him, because that would be cool. I still think that this is going to be a pretty decent plot thing with Spike being fought by this newcomer guy. We then get to hear about this MIFAGGN. And this particular dinosaur, or whatever it is heading in towards the area. We also know that this particular one has been nicknamed Fat Man, which probably suggests that this character is a larger individual. And so my mind immediately jumps to Papotherizinosaurus, but I don't think that's going to be in the season. But I guess you never know. Yeah, but I don't know what this animal could be representing in the series, so I think it'll be very interesting to find out. We then hear that Blue and Rex were drinking by each other in the same lake area, but they did not fight or really confront each other. They just drank and then left and went on their own separate ways, which I think helps to signify that these two animals don't have very much of a rivalry going on, and so we won't really see any competition between Blue and Rex, and I feel it's pretty confident that Rex is a T-Rex, though I guess I could be proven wrong. We then get to hear about Agent 27 talking about how she finally was able to convert this one territory name thing, which is starting to make me think that maybe some of these code things represent territories, but I really don't know. They still confuse me greatly, and I'm trying my best to figure them out, but I just can't do it at this point in time. They don't see there. I'm sure there is a logical pattern. I'm just not able to pick up on that pattern quite yet. I don't have enough data. Then we get here that Agent 27 has unfortunately lost her mother, or her ma, which I'm assuming is her mother, which I think is Kiki trying to add some human characteristics to Agent 27. Agent 27 isn't just a person who is, typing in these journals. She is a real person who he wants us to kind of connect to. And I have a lot more to say on Agent 27, so we're going to hear a lot more about her, including the fact that I know it's a her. But we're going to talk about that last. For the next log, we jump a long ways back in time. The previous two logs that we discussed, the first one in the first video being log 2201, and the one that we just now talked about being 2202, we now jump all the way back to May 6th, 2008. About 6 years earlier than the other two logs that we were talking about. And this log is only log number 3, which also helps to show how long ago it took place. And it is, of course, once again, by Agent 27. One of the biggest things I've noticed is how the project reports, there's definitely nowhere near as many project reports as there is in the later times, which suggests to me that, they're still just getting started and they haven't started as many projects as they have going on in 2014. We then hear that this is Agent 27's third day on the job, which, makes sense as this is log number 3. We then get to hear about Regan, who is a new character, who is also a Rugops, as we hear in the thing that she is ovulating. But there are no males around, so it doesn't seem like she'll be able to produce any eggs. I wonder if this will change. Maybe she'll have a family in the season. Who knows? Maybe Regan's dead. Maybe Regan is someone we never get to hear about again. Who knows? We then get to hear about the best named character ever, King Tut. We don't get to find out who King Tut is, only that he was searching for some cocooned lungfish. But I'm going to take this as a sign, because anyone who knows their stuff has watched Walking with Dinosaurs. And in Walking with Dinosaurs, we see some coelophysis dig up a cocooned lungfish. This might be, and what would it even be called? Like an illusion? I think it's called an illusion. Whatever. A throwback thing to, a reference, I think that's what the word is, a reference to Walking with Dinosaurs, and King Tut is a coelophysis. There's only one coelophysis figure I know of, and that's the Safari one, so that is King Tut confirmed. Now granted, I don't actually know that. It could end up being someone else, but I would bet you a lot of imaginary money that King Tut is a coelophysis. We then get to hear about Blaze, and I think I've heard about Blaze, but I don't really remember who Blaze is. We know Blaze has to have fiery colors, and that definitely limits our search down, but I don't think that gives us exactly who it is. So I think it's going to be interesting to find out who the heck Blaze is. But he was practicing fishing, which suggests that he has to be a type of fishing dinosaur. I guess we'll have to find out. We then get to hear about Debbie and Dylan, who are tending to their young. I don't know who Debbie and Dylan are, but they must be good parents, maybe. Maybe we'll get to hear about them, maybe we won't. Maybe we'll get to hear about their children instead. Who knows? I mean, this is taking quite a long time in the past from Mesozoic Isle normal season. And then we get to hear about the last and most interesting part of this log. And that is this Carcharodontosaurus family. And how do I know it is a Carcharodontosaurus family? Because Kate is part of this family. And I am going to get more into why this character is named Kate in a second. But we need to get to the last log before we discuss that. We get to hear about Killer, who is presumably the father. And he doesn't seem like a very good father. Which is sad that Kate unfortunately has to live with this very horrible father. And might be why she turns out to be the antagonist. Who knows? Maybe. And we also know that there has to be some other Carcharodontosaurus on the island as well. We get the total family of being Killer, Kaya, Kaya's the mom, Kyle, Kibo, and Kate. So we get to hear about Kate, who is a baby, which means that Kate cannot be a newborn individual by Mesozoic Isle. She has to be at least 6 years old by Mesozoic Isle Season 1. But anyways, now we're going to get into what, in my opinion, is the most interesting one, or the one that ties up the most loose ends now. So this is a chat, like a text message type thing, between IAA-13 and SA-27, or Agent 27. First off, we get to learn that Agent 27's real name is Caitlin, which is what I will be calling her from now on. And you know, Caitlin sounds a heck of a lot like Kate. And in that previous log that we were talking about, she says that after Kate was knocked over by her father, she was like, yep, it's official, her name is Kate. Quite obviously named after herself. Which I think might have something to do with Caitlin's character, with, you know, how she was raised and all that kind of stuff. For why she named her Kate. I think this will hopefully be something we get to find out in the future, but I guess you never know. Her whole relationship with this other agent, seems that we know that these two went on a date sometime in the past, but they're not together anymore. They seem to be friends, but that's a little confusing to me, but I think they are friends. I'm gonna say that they're friends. But then you get to find out that Caitlin is running her own projects on the island. Oh, I think I should mention this takes place in 2008 as well, so this is a decent amount of time before Mesozoic Isle. And hear that Caitlin is now in charge of her own projects, which is super interesting. Shows that she is not some really low on the ladder person. She's actually sort of ish high up there. We then get to hear about the monster Chemendaris Rex. And we finally figure out how to spell it. It's spelled MONSTRICOMENDERUS Rex. And that it is a hybrid, but I'm pretty sure Kiki's already said that. And, get this, it's part T-Rex. I know, I just blew your mind right there, didn't I? But that's all that we really get to find out about Monster Chemendaris Rex. And, again, at least we know some of what it is, unlike Bora Venator, which we still have no clue what the heck that thing is. But anyways, here's my big theory with Caitlin. So we know that Caitlin's a girl. We know Caitlin is in charge of Hidden Valley, and she does her own projects. And we know that the narrator of Mesozoic Isle is Aiden's sister, Mandy. So, here is what I think. That the narrator for Mesozoic Isle, in the Mesozoic Isle universe, is Caitlin. Boom. So she is narrating this whole Mesozoic Isle thing. I hope I explained that in words that make sense. But it makes sense to me, and I really think that this is a really good theory, and I think that this is going to be something that happens. But anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Stay tuned to my channel for more Mesozoic Isle updates and yada yada yada. So I will see you in the next video. Bye!